The stream has been initiated. The stream has been initiated. Are you ready for one of the most finely crafted? Are you clearing your throat on camera? Are you doing that? Are you actually doing that? I don't know. I don't know if you knew this, Lewis, but no one wants to hear your gurgling.
That's super freaking annoying.
No one wants to hear your phlegmy gurgling. Screw us, lawless. Leander, we determined that Lewis's adult actor name was Screwus Lawless.
Oops, sorry, I just blew snot all over myself.
My son has a cold. He's been doing that. He'll be eating dinner. This always happens during dinner for some reason. And you'll look over and he just has like a giant bubble coming out of his nose.
Ugh.
Isn't that gross? And he can see it. So he's kind of like trying to look down at it, trying to figure out what's going on because he's 1 year old. And then he'll try to get it. It's actually really gross. All right. Here we go.
Weight loss plan talking about that stuff. So Leander's would be Meander Brainy.
Meander Brainy as the adult name?
Yeah.
Meander Brainy. That doesn't sound like an adult actor name.
It doesn't really scream porn to me.
Movies nobody wants to watch.
I don't know. I don't care what the name is. I still don't think anyone's going to want to watch the movie.
Known for hanging brains. Meander Brainy.
Okay. All right. Well, now that you made that connection, that makes a little bit more sense. All right. Hey, welcome. We're live. Shout out to Zach Hicks is here. Good. We need a mod. Make sure. Be tough on him, Zach. Don't let any of those gall darn spammers in here, okay? Kick them right out. Kick him out of here quick. And Level Remix is here. Is he saying, am I the first? No, I think you were the second. According to the chat history, you were the second. Zach Hicks is the first. He usually is. We got a lot of stuff to talk about this week, but I thought we could just hang out for a few minutes waiting for people to show up. I'm sorry that the camera keeps focusing behind me. I'm trying to hide it as best I can. Like, it has like a nice soft... I have like the Screwus Wallace blur going behind me right now. But as soon as I move my head, like ever so slightly... Oh! God, sorry. You can just see all the stuff I'm trying to hawk on Amazon. Although, I'm doing all right so far. This experiment has been going pretty well. I've sent like thousands of dollars to Amazon, and so far, like a lot of it is sold. It's actually really crazy. And some of the stuff I've sold for way more than I bought it for. So it's been a really interesting experiment. And for those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, I'm doing like a Amazon store experiment. Well, it started off as an experiment, and then it turned into a horrendous nightmare as my Cult Command Center here was filled to the brim with garbage, just absolute garbage that I'm trying to hawk on the common man.
Is that your description of your store on Amazon? Absolute garbage, hawk to the common man.
Well, they wouldn't let me put all those characters, so it just says absolute garbage, hawked co. You know what? That store actually might do really well.
What is the name of your store?
I'm not telling.
Really?
No, because then people could go and see how much trash I'm selling and leave me a bad review. No way. Maybe when this experiment is over. I may not end it. Honestly, it's going so well that I'm not sure I'm actually going to stop. I may just continue doing this into perpetuity. Because the thing is like it's really hard to get started. And once you're started, once it's rolling, you kind of just have to keep feeding it. And it just keeps growing. And in fact, let me just show you guys. You might find this. You might find this interesting. Okay. So these are my Amazon sales for the last 30 days. Now, keep in mind, I don't think I've actually been doing this a full 30 days. So it's not an actual 30 days. But here's where I'm at for the last 30 days so far. Check this out. It's not bad.
Can't see the actual specifics.
Does it say $53.68?
Yeah, so today I've sold $53, almost $54 worth of stuff, yeah. But I've had some days where I sold $400 worth of stuff, and total in the last 30 days, I've sold almost $3,000 worth of stuff.
Wow.
And it's pretty interesting. I mean, considering it's so weird because I'll just check on my store and it's like, oh, I've made 4 sales and I didn't have to do a dang thing. Now, there's a lot of work that goes in on the front end. I don't want to make this sound like it's just like set it and forget it. But it is kind of cool when you make a sale that you don't have to do anything. It's just a machine. It just works and you just keep sending stuff to it. So I don't know if it's going to be worth it. That's the thing, is how much effort is it going to take to actually make this work? Because you might be able to make money, but how much work did it take to make that money, right? That's really the hard part. So that's kind of what I'm going for here, trying to figure out. Shout out to
you've been diligently tracking your hours, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely,
One giant spreadsheet.
Freaking algorithms everywhere, trying to calculate stuff, do projections. Absolutely. Shout out to Tom Walker. Shout out to Level. I said Level Remix. I got you already. Oh darn. I hate giving 2 shout outs. I retract. Gav Miller. Shout out to Owen Visser. Okay, you can have it. I already let it loose. Once you let it loose, you can't pull it back. Like so many things in life. All right, guys. Well, you'll notice that one Mr. L. Caney's back. Look at him. Doesn't he just look buttery and tan? Oh,
Rested, relaxed.
He's making eyes at you guys.
I've got a bit of a farmer's tan here.
Look at those.
Yeah.
What is it?
Oh, Lander, your biceps or your triceps are nothing to joke about. Look at those.
The chicken, flabby chicken.
Is that
wing?
just flab? Is this just flab? The way the light struck it actually looked like it was firm. Yeah, it's not bad. It's from all that lifting bikes around and stuff. All right, guys. Well,
I think I say something else, but yeah.
No, I would never make a joke of the kind that you were just thinking about. All right, well, we got a lot of Apple stuff to talk about, so let's go ahead and get rolling because we got quite a few people here now, and they're going to keep trickling in. So let me cue up old Mrs. D. Where is she? Mrs. D? Oh, she's chipper today. Are you ready to go? Oh, surely I am. That looks like a delicious face mask you have. Oh, it's pie. Pie filling? Really? Oh, yes. Now, that is interesting. I had no idea that would be so effective on wrinkles, but that explains your luscious and wrinkle-free skin. Okay, guys. Well, let me cue up the music here, and we will get this show on the road. Lewis, get a Cult of Mac store promotion ready, okay? I'm coming to you shortly.
Shortly, huh?
Are you ready to go? Okay, here we go. Hello, and welcome to the CultCast, the best 30-plus minute Apple conversation you're going to hear all week long. I'm your host, Aaron Elijah. Joining me today, he's back from Arizona, where local authorities are looking for a man about his size, weight, and description, reportedly for providing alcoholic beverages to several of the city's zoo animals. Several half-eaten curly whirlies were also found on the scene. He's the founder of Cult of Mac and a big fan of zoos. Leander Caney is here, also with us. Speaking of animals, he manages the pen of Cult of Mac riders, filling their troughs with water and buckets of food, picking up their droppings and making sure their cages are securely locked. He's the managing editor of Cult of Mac. Lewis Wallace is here.
Yeah, the picking up their droppings part is not too much of a stretch, actually.
Well, you
I didn't get my joke, by the way. What was the? I didn't actually get it.
Well, it's just going on the theme that everywhere you go, scuffles and debauchery follow.
But
And so,
providing alcohol to minors?
no, not to minors, to the zoo animals. They found several zoo animals who had been drinking, and they were wondering. Then they heard reports that there was a British man about your height, size, weight, and description, who was.
Where'd you get that
palling
idea
around-
though? From zoo animals?
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it would be funny
Yes, it is. Okay.
because I know
maybe there's a
wherever
story
you
in the
go,
news
you
or
like to
something.
get in trouble. No, there's no. You're reading too much into it. There's no actual meaning. It's just I figured that. You seem like you like animals. Am I right about that? You have that vicious
I love
little dog.
animals, yeah.
Okay, yeah. You
You see
pal
some
around.
pictures of my cats.
You have cats too? Okay. I just know that you love that vicious little dog who liked to bite everyone, and you still loved him.
Yeah, he passed unfortunately.
What? Sorry to hear that.
My mother's little terror dog.
Yeah, he looked and acted like
I
a
didn't know.
gremlin after midnight.
Right.
And so I just figured you're going to be at the zoo. You love animals. I know that you like to have an ale or two. And you see an animal like a giraffe. He pops his head down. You're like, come here, you. And you grab him by the head, because his neck's so long, and you jam the bottle in his mouth. Zoo
I
authorities.
hate to admit
get
it,
alert.
but my new favorite drink is now shandy.
I don't even know what is that.
Beer with lemonade in it.
Oh, that actually sounds pretty good.
Very, very good. Yeah, delicious drink.
A good,
Pick that up in
refreshing.
Arizona.
Uh-huh.
Pick that up in Arizona.
It's actually been going on for a while because probably in Spain actually used to drink beer there with a bit of lemonade in it. But yeah, shandy in England is. I mean, if you order that in a pub in England, you're going to get beaten up immediately.
You won't even get the whole word out. I just want to shh, and then the bartender just punches you right in the nose. And he points to the sign, no shandies. There's a sign
Exactly.
that says no shandies.
Precisely.
That sounds like a drink that you'd like, though. Having had some drinks with you in the past, I know you like those sweet,
Cocktails.
yeah, exactly, elaborate cocktails. Let us say. All right. Well, look. Yeah, go ahead, Lewis.
No, every time you drink one, you should think about that Kiss song, Shandy. That might get you off them.
I
don't
have
know,
not heard.
it's-
Yeah, I haven't heard
Yeah.
that song either.
Good. I dare you to go listen.
Hey,
Okay.
Lewis, what's going on with your microphone foam there? Are you trying to
What?
replicate the
Huh?
Gadget Hunter?
What?
I smell a little copyright infringement happening
What are
here.
you
Hold on a sec.
talking about?
Hold on a sec, Lewis.
I don't know what he's talking about.
Look, dude, I'm the originator of the extra large mic top. Okay,
I've had this forever.
this is my shtick. I
This
feel
is
like
not a new addition.
suddenly your mic top has gotten awfully big.
Feel? Like?
Yeah,
Well, you feel wrong.
I mean, look at that. If I put it slightly off camera, it looks just like that one that you have. We could talk about this after the show.
Exactly the same as ever.
Okay, I see an IP lawsuit in your future, but let's
Great.
we could-
I
we
got
could
plenty
s-
of time for that. That
we
sounds
could-
awesome.
We could settle this off camera. All right, guys, let's jump into the notes here. Everyone's leaving because no one wants to hear us talking about any of this nonsense. Let's go ahead and jump into the notes and see what we got going on. Shocking that we're wasting everyone's time. Let's see. Where are my notes? Oh, yeah, there we go. Okay, so, no, those aren't it. Here we go. Apple's next big keynote could take place on March 23rd. Here's what to expect. So, if we're going to have an Apple keynote, am I on the right camera? Yeah. It is going to be announced probably by next Tuesday. Well, let's see here. What is next Tuesday? That is going to be the 16th. Yeah, so that's a week before. They have to announce this. So probably by the time you hear our next show, we will know whether or not we're getting a March event. And it seems like we're going to. So we're going to talk about what to expect at the March event. Also, we have some new evidence of Apple's MagSafe power bank. So this would be like the little power recharger that you could snap to the back of your iPhone 12, iPhone 12 Pro, and have it magnetically snap on and charge your phone, which is pretty cool. We have pictures to show you, so we'll show you those. Oh, if you're here watching, if you're listening, well, then we'll just describe it to you very elaborately, so you have a picture in your imagination. And then we have to talk about the iMac Pro. As you probably heard, this is a big story this week. It is being discontinued, and this led us into another story. Good riddance to iMac Pro and the era of underwhelming Macs. This is a story out on CultCast. It's a great story. You guys should go read it. And when I first heard the title, I was like, come on, dude. The iMac Pro was a great machine. It really was a great machine. It wasn't that bad. And then I read the story, and I found myself nodding through a lot of these excellent points made by Luke Dorr.
Don't you do that in every
Dormail.
story you read?
Oh,
Isn't
of
that-
course. Yes, but you didn't let me finish. More enthusiastically than I normally am nodding.
Oh, I see. Yeah,
Like normally
right.
it's just like, But this time I was like, yes.
Full bobblehead.
Yeah, it went full. It was like Jack Nicholson in that meme from Anger Management.
Departed, yeah.
Not Departed. Anger Management, where he's like,
Is it? What's it from? Anger Management.
Anger
That's From
Management.
the Departed.
no, that's from Anger Management.
Oh, so I got the wrong movie all this time.
Oh, have you been telling people that it's from Departed? What? No.
That's what I thought, and I was like, I don't remember that. I didn't quite remember him hamming it up that much in that movie, but
Dude, that movie was so good. Have you ever seen it, Lewis? Anger Management?
I don't think so.
Yeah, it's hilarious, but I digress. Okay, let's see here. Before we dive into all the fun, Lewis, do you want to tell us a little bit about an exciting new product in the Cult of Mac store, full of fine products, but you wanted to highlight one in specific, didn't you?
Yeah, we
Take
got
it
a
away.
new MagSafe charger for your iPhone 12. I mean, actually, it works with any iPhone that uses wireless charging, but this is the higher speed like MagSafe. And this one, instead of having like a plastic or metal top, it's got a wood top, so it gives it a distinctive look. It's made by a company called Limited 77. Gives you full 15 watts charging that you get with a one of Apple's MagSafe ones, but instead of costing you what are those things like $40 or something, this one's on sale right now because it's just launched in our store. It's on sale for $24.77, which is extremely odd price, but it's a good
Well, it
price.
coincides with the name, doesn't it?
Oh.
Ding 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 ding. It never occurred to me. I thought it was some oddball percentage.
I
Is
also
that what,
did not make that connection. That's
did
exactly
you do this,
what.
Leander? Was this
No,
your
it
pricing
just,
strategy?
it just occurred to me because
Yeah,
I'm guessing.
I think that is actually. I think he's correct there, Lewis. You can kind of see it. Limited 77, 24.77. It's kind of a shtick that they do.
But our normal price on this is $39 in our store. That's savings of 36% for those of you who are good with numbers, or maybe that's actually for those who are bad with numbers. It's also, it works with any Qi charger, so it's anything that charges wirelessly through Qi. And we also have another thing from that company, from Limited 77, and oddly enough,
Oh,
it also
really?
has a $24.77 price tag. This is a bamboo wooden iPhone charging stand. So this company's apparently got the hots for wood. If you do too,
Whoa!
check this thing out. You can,
I know.
this is just a wooden stand that you put your iPhone and your Apple Watch on. It doesn't come with all the, with like the charging module or whatever, but it does. It looks different. Let's put it that way. If you like wooden iPhone accessories, check those out. They're both kind of different. They're both new in the Cult of Mac store, and that's store.cultofmac.com.
You include
That was
the
almost,
you
that was
included
almost like a real professional pitch. Wasn't
that
it?
was like NPR quality right there. You even included the URL twice, I think, at the start and at the finish. Look at that. You actually might make some sales off of that excellent promotion. Store.cultomac.com.
We got PayPal back up and running, so go for it.
Oh,
we
nice.
can handle it.
Well, taking payment is an important part of selling online. Is something that I've learned.
Turns out it's key.
It's critical to getting into the actual sale. Okay, let's talk about Apple's next big keynote event. So get your wallets ready, because Apple will supposedly launch an array of new products on March 23rd. On the docket for the event will supposedly be an updated iPad Pro, AirPods 3, an Apple TV, as well as the debut of AirTags. Now, intuition, just a hunch, I feel like this is going to be an AirTags focused event. That's going to be the big marquee item of the whole event, right? Because AirTags are something that people aren't familiar with. Now, for us, we clearly know a lot about AirTags, and we've been talking about AirTags forever. But I think for the mere mortals out there who don't follow this stuff, they may not know anything about AirTags, nor may they know what they do or anything like that. And I think AirTags are going to be really freaking cool. There's a video that I made on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/AirFunElijah, about Apple's master plan for AirTags, and I go through all the different patents that they published. And dude, there are things in there that are way outside of the realm of, I'm going to track my keys. Where's my soccer ball? It's way more in depth than that. This technology that they have can be used for measuring your posture, can be used for measuring your golf swing. I mean, it is so hyper.
Golf swing?
Yeah. There you go. I know you could use some help doing that. What was your I don't even know what to call it. I was going to make a golf joke, but I know literally nothing about golf. All I know is that Tiger Woods is good at it, and you want to get under par. So I can't make the joke. I beclowned myself.
I don't know him either. I'm a complete golf newbie, but I'm totally addicted after 3 plays.
Well, wait a second. How after 3 plays, do you mean you just did 3 holes? Is that it?
Well, I didn't even really get the holes because we were so awful that we didn't even, we were just knocking the balls up and down the green. You know what I mean? Because there were so many people behind us,
That doesn't sound like golf.
and we were so awful that we had to keep, calling these people, letting these people through, and then it was like, okay, we'll just, let's just hit the ball, and we won't bother about getting it in the hole.
Well, I think that's probably like 80% of golf players. The whole point of golf is just to walk around in a beautiful atmosphere, listen to the birds,
on the green, right?
tweet,
Yeah.
and then drink until you can't walk and you have to get in the golf cart and be carried
Well,
around.
that's funny. The group in front of us is this bunch of older ladies. They were all like in their 60s and 70s, and they were all doing Jello shots out of this big bag.
And you were like, wait a second, Mom, is that you?
Right.
Leander?
Yeah.
You need to find a crappier golf course, man. I've only played golf a handful of times, but I had a lot of fun at like the mud course out in Golden Gate Park because nobody, like no serious players are out there, right? And everybody's just out there hacking away and having fun. But then you go to a nice one up in somewhere up in the North Bay, and it was like, oh my God, it was totally different. Everybody was like all uptight and freaked out because we weren't that good either, and it just wasn't the same kind of fun.
Really, it was more uptight, not fun at all.
The one up north, yeah, it was it was a nice golf course, right?
Yeah.
The one in Golden Gate Park, it's like a 9-hole. I don't know. It's almost like a marine training camp or something. It's all muddy and just it was awesome actually though. That was fun.
Kind of
'cause there
relieves
was
the pressure, right, to actually perform.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I mean, the few times that I've golfed, like it really is tremendously challenging to get that freaking little ball into the hole, 600 yards down course with sand pits everywhere. And you got to hit the ball straight, which is practically impossible to actually hit the ball straight. As hard as you try, I don't think anyone has ever done it. But it is relaxing just to be out there. I mean, kind of an aside here. There is this golf course I stumbled into in Seattle. So Seattle, very dense. It's like San Francisco, houses everywhere, buildings everywhere. And I was riding my bike, and I came across this little tiny side street, and I looked down, and I was like, whoa, there is like a whole oasis of grass in the middle of Seattle, and this area overlooks the water. And I did an about face, and I went into this little area, and there is an entire golf course down there that I didn't even know existed. And it is like this beautiful, serene paradise in the middle of Seattle with all these beautiful houses around it overlooking the water. And now
Giant rainbow.
Yeah, there's a giant rainbow down there. Have you been there? That's crazy that you do that. And so now I just go down. They let you ride your bike around it. If you step your foot on the green, like a turret gun comes out of the ground and blows you away. But you're allowed to look. That's fine. And so sometimes I'll just go down there and just eat my lunch overlooking the water. It's very peaceful. They would never let the likes of me on the golf course, though. And there is danger, actually, if you stand next to the course, of getting thwacked right in the head with a golf ball traveling like 4,500 feet per second.
I want to get a pair of those. What are those trousers they wear? Those weird pants, and then the socks that go up to your knees.
Oh, jeez.
I don't know what they're called. Oh yeah, I know the look that you're going for. I'm surprised that you don't really have that look established in your.
As soon as we are done with the podcast, I'm gonna go on Amazon. I'm gonna get myself a whole outfit.
Get some Argyle
the tartan
socks,
cap, and the tartan sweater, and the little gloves.
Well, you already have the cap. What happened to all of the Samuel L. Jackson?
Oh, the Kango caps.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got them. I still got them.
Okay, because you got to wear them sometimes, right? Just to keep like the light off your head. I mean, so you don't get like the sunburn. You probably wore them in Arizona, I'm guessing, huh?
I didn't actually. No, I didn't take them with me. I took I took a cap from San Jose Spartans, and then I don't know, about literally 3 or 4 people commented on the hat. I mean, they're kind of hat crazy in Arizona, in Phoenix. They're all hat aficionados. This guy he had a whole conversation about the hat with me, about this stupid cap. I didn't even know what was on it. I'd forgotten.
Well, it's important when it's 145 degrees outside and the sun is coming down on you like you're living on Mars. You got to protect like your brow and everything. Otherwise, you end up like this, like Buster, where your eyes are real small and you're squinting all the time, just so you can get your brow low enough to cover your retinas so they're not completely singed by the sunlight. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Everyone gets that Phoenix look.
That's a good theory. I think that might be true.
That's why they all kind of had that look. It's like, it's too sunny out here. It's too bright. All right, we're being chastised by the chat.
Well, get on with it.
Third aside.
That's literally it. Yeah. Please stop talking about all this stuff and go back to Apple. Okay. Will do. Is that from Dalva?
Not the worst idea.
Yeah.
probably.
All right. This must be his first time here. You don't watch this show very often, do you? Okay. Back to Apple stuff. So I talked about the event. Lewis, why don't you tell us about the first item from our expectations here, the iPads?
Are we even going to tell people where this date come from? So this is the latest update from John Prosser.
Thank you.
Well, regarding the date, originally I believe he had said it was going to be on the 16th, which is next Tuesday, but then he lately says, no, this is it. And he laid out that there's going to be 4 products, the first of which, iPad Pro is actually what he says. Supposedly going to be not a complete redesign, just maybe a mini LED display for better visuals. Also, there might be the first 5G iPad, and they also there's some talk of them coming with these additional magnets for new accessories.
More magnets?
Yeah, it's kind of it's
more
this,
magnets.
This is all like this kind of vague rumors that's been going around. Like they're gonna. I mean, for one thing, will they come with MagSafe? I mean, they don't have MagSafe right now, do they?
No.
I don't even know. I haven't had a new iPad in years.
No. I mean, they have magnets in them clearly, but they don't have any MagSafe accessories. You can't charge them wirelessly or anything like that.
I wonder why that is.
Well, I think for one thing, it would probably take you about 200 hours to fully charge an iPad. I mean, it takes long enough to do your dang iPhone. Can you imagine doing an iPad Pro? It'd take you 2 days to charge that thing.
It doesn't take that long to charge an iPhone with the MagSafe thing, man. It's pretty fast.
It's only fast if you never charge it with the actual Lightning connected to a 20-watt adapter. A 20-watt adapter is the way to go. It will charge your iPhone almost fully in an hour, and you'll have 80% in, I don't know what the exact numbers are, but like 30 minutes or something. And when you get used to doing that and then you toss it on the magnetic charger, it just feels like you're sitting in the ice age waiting for it to end. It takes forever.
I see.
Try it sometime, Lewis. So did you talk about the oh, you did. You mentioned the 5G. Okay. So I just want to mention real quickly also, and let me hit browser mode real fast, is when we're talking about what to expect. So this was apparently one of John Prosser's quote-unquote reliable sources. But he said products that are ready, AirTags, iPad Pro, AirPods, Apple TV, take that however you like. So apparently these are the products that are ready to ship, but that does not necessarily mean they're going to make their way into this event. Apple could delay them for any reason. In fact, we were just hearing that Apple has delayed the release of the 16-inch MacBook Pro, the M1 version of the MacBook Pro, which was a mega bummer to hear. So, and we don't know why. We just heard that is what has happened. So it could transpire that some of these things or none of these things end up being announced at the event. But I'm going to guess at the very least we'll get AirTags for sure, but possibly the Apple TV. Leander, tell us about the new Apple TV.
Yeah, Apple TV. So there was a lot of rumors last year in 2020 that was going to be a new Apple TV coming this year, and Prosser says it's going to be dropped at this month's event. So it's probably going to pack a faster processor, and there's going to be a focus on gaming. Virtually everything in the Apple Arcade can be played on the Apple TV. But I'm not really sure. What does that mean, focus on gaming? Is it an Xbox killer, a PlayStation rival? Will it have a better remote?
Well, hopefully it will have a better remote. Let's hope for that. Actually, this week, a bunch of people in the Cult Club were showing me some Elago cases for the Apple TV remote, which are really cool. One of them looked exactly like a Super Nintendo controller, which were pretty cool. And I was thinking to myself, how weird is it that we want a case that actually makes the controller bigger and bulkier? Because the thing is so dang slick. It's like holding a piece of ice. It just slips right out of your hand. If it touches the crack of your couch, it immediately gets sucked directly in, and you'll never see it
right
again.
Right down into the bottom of it.
Exactly. Yeah, it goes right down through the crack, and then it settles at the very, very bottom. So I wouldn't mind something with some sandpaper installed on the back of it or something that was a little bit grippier and even bigger, you know?
You could just go ahead and glue some sandpaper to the back of it if that's what you want.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I never
I'm full of them.
never
I'm a
considered
problem
that.
solver.
I got some 1000 grit downstairs. I
We
don't
should be
know if
selling
that
Lewis, on the CultCast store. Sandpaper.
Well, you got to change your marketing. You
Free
got to call it
glue.
like Apple Remote Grip Tape or something, and then you just buy some sandpaper and you ship it with a roll of Scotch tape so they can tape it on there, right? Charge like $29.99 for it.
Pro gamer accessory.
Pro gamer accessory. There you go. You know, I'm really interested to see what they end up doing with the Apple TV from a gaming perspective, because it seems, well, obviously Apple's dabbling in gaming, right? They've got Apple Arcade, but Apple Arcade is not something that most serious gamers are excited about. It's more
Well, that's
like,
the thing. See, they don't want serious gamers, do they? They want casual gamers. You know, the sort of, you know, that it's a much bigger market, isn't it, of casual gamers.
yeah, I think that's probably true, but I think the problem lies in the fact that only the hardcore guys are willing to spend money on games. I don't know
Yeah.
if casual gamers are willing to spend $5 a month on Apple Arcade because they're not serious gamers. They don't want to spend money on gaming. So they would have to make a move, in my estimation, to appeal more to serious gamers, which would be a big sell because it's a freaking it's a content streaming device, and it would be an uphill battle to convince people that it's actually a serious gaming engine, especially with the likes of the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X and then PC gaming and stuff out there. I mean, just imagine the memes. Imagine the memes on Reddit if Apple actually did try to make this thing into a serious gaming console. The memes would be legendary, especially in the PC Master Race subreddit, comparing PCs to the Apple TV. So that would actually make it worthwhile for me personally, but I would be interested in gaming on the Apple TV. I mean, it's already compatible with the Xbox controller. So it has the capability of playing more advanced games if it just had a more advanced chipset. And from the benchmarks we've seen of the M1 and the more powerful variation of the M1, especially the benchmarks that we just saw that were put out there for the M1X or whatever they end up calling it, that thing is an absolute powerhouse. It's gonna be a destroyer. And if they put something like that in the Apple TV, I don't think that they would, but if they did, it could be an actual legitimate gaming platform. I don't know if Apple's going to take that far, but they could, you know, especially if Tim Cook thinks he can milk some more dollars out of you guys. He might just do that. The other big thing, AirPods 3. Now, I've got mixed feelings on the AirPod 3s. If you've heard me talk about this before, I'll tell you why I have mixed feelings about AirPods 3. So, do I have my AirPods around here? No, I don't. I'm one of the people that Apple made AirPods for. AirPods, excuse me. They fit in my ear like a dream. Imagine a dream going into your ear. That's what AirPods feels like to me. They fit perfectly. It's one of the few earphones that I can wear that doesn't agitate my delicate ear canal, so I can leave them in all day, shaking my head around, right? They fit me perfectly. It's like Johnny Ive came into my bedroom at night and squirted that ear goo in. I don't know if you guys ever been fitted for custom-made
Hearing aids.
Maybe he did.
What? Wait, what? Huh?
Yeah, right.
I had at CES, I was custom fitted for a pair of earphones, and it was one of the strangest sensations I've ever had. They squirt this goo into your ear, and then they wait for it to dry, and then they twist it and pull it out of your ear, and the sensation in your ear can only be compared to that scene in Total Recall where Arnold Schwarzenegger is pulling that thing out of his nose and he's going, that thing's coming out. That was what it was like. It was a totally strange sensation because it's like glued in there, and then he twists it and pulls it out, and it feels like he's pulling your brain out the side of your ear. And he might have gotten some of it. That would actually explain a few things. So the AirPods fit my ear perfectly, but from what we've heard, the AirPods 3 will be shaped like the AirPods Pro with those custom silicone ear tips that you can interchange, which some people are excited about. I hate those things. I don't like the way they fit in my ears. They always agitate my ears. I just want them to be regular AirPods, but shaped like the AirPods Pro, which it doesn't seem like that's what's going to happen. So let me just stop pontificating and read from the story. Apple is supposedly about to replace AirPods 2 with an updated version that uses the same general designs as AirPods Pro, but does not come with all the features. That means no active noise cancellation, no transparency mode, I'm guessing. But the in-ear headphones will supposedly get Pro Touch style controls. So from what we've heard in the past, they're going to look just like the AirPods Pro. They're going to have the same tips, probably even the same case, same stems, right? Same look, which I love the look of the AirPods Pro. It's like probably one of my favorite parts. But no active noise cancellation and no transparency mode. Which
so
is
you'll get that, but if they have the little tips, that means they're going to sort of seal off the environment, right, from your ears. One of the nicest things about the old AirPods is that they were kind of semi-transparent by design, weren't they? Because they didn't totally seal up your ear canals.
Yeah.
Right.
But now if they have the little silicone tips, they will seal, but you won't have transparency mode. So, does that mean you're going to be completely cut off from the environment?
Yeah, it means that you won't be able to hear as well what's going on around you, which some people may not care about. To your point about the original AirPods, that's one of the things I love about them is you could still be situationally aware when you're wearing them, right? You could wear them if you wanted to. I wouldn't recommend this. I disavow. On your bicycle. I would never do this, ever. But I've heard of people
Later
doing.
glues his in place. He's on the bike.
He tapes them on with electrical tape. And then you can still hear what's going on around you, which is what I love about them. I don't want to have to turn on transparency mode to hear that a bus is about to squash me. So
the latest leaks, supposed leaks this week, had some pictures of supposedly AirPods 3, and they do have the look of AirPods Pro, but they do not have the silicone tips. So that would be the AirPhone model.
Oh, well.
I don't know if you saw those, but there were some renders a few days ago too that basically said the same thing. Hey, they're gonna be more like the AirPods, the original AirPods, in that they won't have silicone tips and they won't block out sound and they won't have noise cancellation, but they do have a more sort of, I think we all probably think the AirPods Pro look a little aesthetically better, right?
Oh man, they look so much better. They have shorter stems, right? And then they have that slight bend, that contour that follows your jawlines. It just accentuates your jawline.
It's really, my jawline.
Your jawline looks so much better. When I saw you wearing them, I was really impressed.
That's actually that's why I wear them all the time. Just so my jawline will be accentuated.
They're not even turned on, right?
Exactly. They're the batteries.
They're not even real. They're fake ones, right?
You got them from China, yeah. Well, they do that, so that is one of the pros of them. Now, somebody in the chat, Stephen Huxtable. Oh, Stephen, the honorable Stephen Huxtable is here. And he says they will have transparency mode, but not noise cancellation. I don't know about that, dude.
I mean, I was
Where'd you hear
actually
that?
thinking the same thing. That's not a bad conjecture.
Yeah,
Wouldn't
go ahead,
those two
Lewis.
things be kind of? I mean, if you could do transparency mode, wouldn't you? Why would you not do the other? Right?
I know,
mean,
that's kind of what I was thinking
isn't it
too.
like all the same hardware and all the same software and all the same. It's like part of the package, right? I mean, it seems like. I mean, I suppose they could make it turn it off.
Yeah.
But it seems like it would be if they were going to have one, they would have both.
Yes, same here. Sorry, Leanna, go ahead.
Well, that's what the upgrade is for. They want you. Tim wants your money, doesn't he? So if you want to upgrade to full ANC, you got to cough up for the Pro.
Get the one that's not gimped.
Right.
All right, let's talk about AirTags because that's probably what most people actually care about. So, AirTags, let's see who's on this. Lewis, I'm tossing this back your way. Take us away, Lewis.
So on it. Yeah, so I think you're right. AirTags is the other thing that's rumored to be part of this, but I think you're absolutely right that if they do this event, that they're going to have to spend a fair amount of time in AirTags, because that's what they got to do. They got to explain what they are. They got to explain why you want them. They got a lot of things to explain, And if you remember, like the way they did the what was it, the HomePod Mini, right? I mean, they like built an entire fake house, right? It wasn't an entire house, but you remember that giant set they had?
Yeah, I do.
Explain how, that was a beautiful way of describing how this thing works. So, you could imagine them going all in on this AirTags thing. I mean, they don't need to do a whole lot to say, here's a new iPad and it's got 5G. I mean, that could be a press release, right? I mean, if ever there was something that screamed out to be just mention it by a press release. That's it. But AirTags, they explain what they are, right? And so, I mean, for if anybody out there hasn't heard already, I mean, what these things, they're supposedly item trackers, kind of like Tile. Like, you know, you take it, you attach it to your keys, you drop one in your wallet or your purse. And then if you misplace that item, you can look it up using the Find My app. And there's been all kinds of, we've been talking about these things for years now. There's been more and more evidence lately shown up. Latest iOS betas had basically a screen saying, it doesn't actually say AirTags, but it says, find your wallet. So anyway, I think that it's not going to be just a one more thing. I think it's going to be the big thing at the event, that they're going to have to make the case for why you want them and why they're fantastic.
Oh, dude, absolutely. Absolutely. And there's way more to the AirTags than just the AirTags themselves. The technology is going to be front and center, I believe, because they're going to be weaving this technology into all of your Apple stuff. Anything that you buy that has an Apple logo on it, I think is going to have this technology built in. And then the AirTags will be for things that you want to attach them to that are not Apple, at least according to some of the previous reports we've heard and from John Prosser. This is going to be weaved into everything. And think about how hyper accurate these things are. So this technology is actually going to take advantage of the U1 chip in your newer iPhones, the iPhone 11, iPhone 12. And if you've played around at all with the U1 chip capability with the new HomePod Mini, it's really kind of crazy. So I can't do a demo right now because I'm too far away. I tried this last time and it died on the vine horribly. So I'm not going to try now. But there's a feature built into the iPhone now where when you get close to a HomePod Mini, because the HomePod Mini is U1 capable, right? It will actually bring up a menu on your phone that allows you to tap into the behavior of what the HomePod Mini is doing. You can control music. You can see if there's any alarms set. And as you bring the phone, so here's the HomePod. Imagine my hand is a HomePod. It's probably about the same size, actually. Okay. And don't backtalk to me. I'll give you a first-hand view of the HomePod right in your face. And as you bring the phone closer, the phone, am I good? I'm in big view. The phone actually starts vibrating, and the closer you get, the stronger the vibration becomes. So it knows in a very accurate way how far away it is from the other U1 item. So if you've lost something, imagine being able to walk through your house and it will tell you exactly where that item is. And as you get closer, the vibration, the haptic response on your phone starts to intensify. So you know that you're getting closer to it. So it's not like the way you find something now in the Find My app, where it's like your thing is in your house in this huge giant circle. So just walk around for the next 2 hours and you'll probably find, no, it's going to be, go this way. It's 100. No, I'm just
well, that'd be a huge improvement. I tried to use, I tried to ping my iPhone from my Apple Watch the other day, and it's pinging. I can hear it pinging, but I could not tell where it was coming from. And I literally, it took me about 20 minutes, and I was searching room after room, and I could hear the thing pinging, so at least I knew it was here somewhere. And then there it was. It was on the charging stand in my bedroom, right where I left it, in full view.
Well, the room was filled with smoke, so you couldn't quite, see where it was. So it's like you gotta open the smoke curtain with your hands and peer into it. It's like, isn't there? Yeah, it's gonna be a really useful way to find your stuff for sure, and it's gonna mean that you basically never lose your stuff again. And
I hope they have one of these. I hope they build this into the new Apple TV remote.
Well,
if you keep that same form factor, just make it so you can just where is it this time?
Absolutely.
Shortcut, and it just automatically fires up, and you just tells you where it's at.
It's such a useful thing to be able to ping your stuff, isn't it? I mean, using the you can use basically any Apple device to ping another Apple device. It's just something that I recently learned. But if you have HomePods, you can just say, "Hey, where's my iPhone?" and it will start pinging your iPhone or your iPad or anything. It's mega useful. But for those non-Apple people in your life, they might actually find it to be agitating. I went to my friend's house for my birthday. And we were over there hanging out, and he's like, dude, why does your phone keep pinging? Every 10 minutes it goes off. I'm like, I don't know. That's how I find it. I just set it down wherever I want, and then when I'm ready to use it, I just start pinging it, and then I go get it. But he doesn't do that. He doesn't know how that technology works, and so he found that to be incredibly grating. And I guess I didn't realize how often I do it. I do it probably 25 times a day. I'm always misplacing my iPhone. I don't keep it in my pocket because I don't want the radiation to sterilize me. But So
how's your wife feel about that? Isn't it about time you got it?
yeah, at this point, I think
Jeez.
she's probably good with it.
She probably wants, yeah,
She asked me to get the iPhone 12 Pro and keep it in my pocket. I don't know why.
right.
Okay. So there are all of the hardware expectations for the potential March event. Let's see here. What date was it? March 23rd. So we will find out. Like I said, if we're going to get a March 23rd event, Apple has to announce it by next Tuesday because the event would be the following Tuesday. So my guess is we'll hear on Monday whether or not we're going to have an event, and I think we're going to have one. I think it's time to unleash the AirTags upon the world. Let's see here. Before we move on, let me just do a quick promo for a CultCast artifact that you might be interested in. So if you have been listening to this show for a long time, you know that one of the things that connected me to Leander was a little Apple graphic t-shirt company that I started years and years and years ago called Might Tees, which is now defunct and closed and shuttered. But I found a bin of Might Tees t-shirts that I didn't know that I had. And as I went through the various levels of strata in this bin, it was a big bin, I found a bunch of designs, and I've placed all of those designs on cultcloth.co. Cultcloth.co. You can pick yourself up some Cult Cloth while you're there as well, and some of you have been. Thank you for that. The design I promoted last week, which is our Steve Jobs Say Anything mashup t-shirt, is almost sold out. We have almost none left. There are a few odds and ends sizes left, but if you wear like a normal size, odds are we probably won't have it. Like, we're totally out of mediums right now. But I also released some other designs since then. And let me talk about this one. This is called our In Love with Lisa t-shirt. And it has a beautifully illustrated version of the Lisa computer on the shirt. Now, let me tell you a quick story. You guys aren't going to believe this. So I was selling these t-shirts on Etsy. And one day, a woman named Lisa Jobs reached out to me on Etsy and asked me about the availability of these shirts. And I was like, someone's trying to troll me, right? Lisa Jobs. And I went and I looked at her account, and the account had been there for years and had like a history to it. So Steve Jobs' daughter, I'm almost 100% certain, reached out to me about this t-shirt. I don't know if she ended up ever buying one or if she was just inquiring about the availability. Maybe we didn't have her size or something. I don't really remember all the details. But Steve Jobs' daughter knows that this t-shirt exists, and she might actually own one, which I think is pretty cool. And, of course, this whole line of t-shirts, which is what connected me with Leander, which led to the CultCast, and I think they're pretty cool t-shirts. So if you would like one, we're clearing out what stock we have left, and once these are gone, they're going to be gone forever. So if you are interested in grabbing yourself one of these CultCast artifacts, head on over to cultcloth.co, cultcloth.co. And for this design, I think we have pretty much, so we have most of our sizes left still because I just released this on the site. But some of the other ones were sold out on. So thank you for your support. This certainly supports me, which I appreciate. And you'll score yourself something that I think you'll really love. And it's a great piece of Apple paraphernalia as well. All right, let's hop into our next story. Let's check out Apple's MagSafe power bank that might never launch, which I thought was a cheeky title, but turns out it might be true. So we have what is probably our first look at Apple's MagSafe power bank that they are working on that you may never actually be able to buy. This comes from Front Page Tech, a.k.a. John Prosser. But it's not just him that's talking about this. So two different leakers claim to give the world their very early looks at Apple's MagSafe power bank for on-the-go charging. This will allegedly attach to an iPhone with magnets so it can wirelessly juice up the handset. I kind of wonder how strong the attachment's going to be because that seems to be a problem with the iPhone 12. But it looks like there are some problems with the design of this particular piece of hardware, and the leakers aren't sure if Apple will be able to fix the problems and actually release this MagSafe power bank. So this image came to us from Leaks Apple Pro on Twitter, who says, according to a news source, this is how MagSafe battery packs will look. This source is new, so I won't take any responsibility on being wrong. It's just a way to verify him. It looks good to me. Take this with a huge grain of salt. But this was followed up a few days later by John Prosser, who devoted most of an episode of Front Page Tech to covering the MagSafe charger. And he provided a render, which I'm showing right now. And if you're listening, so it kind of looks like an iPhone 5. It has the aluminum band around the outside of it. And the edges, much to my surprise and delight, look like they're chamfered. And you all know how I feel about chamfered edges. So aluminum band around the outside, and then plastic on the top and the bottom to, allow the magnetic rays to go through. And the interesting thing about this MagSafe charger would be that it reportedly will have dual charging capabilities. So you attach one side to your iPhone to charge it, and then you can attach the other side to the MagSafe charger or to a Qi charger to charge the power bank. So if you do it just right, you'll have a MagSafe sandwich. iPhone, charger below that. And that's kind of cool, isn't it? But can we just stop for a moment and just appreciate that we are living in an era where MagSafe is making a comeback? Isn't that just great? MagSafe, one of the best inventions Apple ever made, pulled off from all of their computers disastrously. Terrible decision. And now we are living through MagSafe, the new era, the next generation, if you will. MagSafe, the next generation. Someone call Riker to the bridge. We got some MagSafe to show them, okay? We got MagSafe on the phones. We got MagSafe coming back to the next MacBook Pro, according to reports. That's pretty cool. Imagine if they put MagSafe underneath the MacBook Pro, so you could just set it down and it would charge magnetically. That is not something. That's something that I could actually see Apple doing. So we're living through a new era of MagSafe, which is really cool. And today, if you're listening right now, Best Buy is doing a sale on the MagSafe Duo. So that really overpriced charger. Terribly overpriced. What do they want for it? $129, I think.
I believe that is correct. Yes.
Let me see if I can pull this up.
On sale for $99 today, right?
Yeah, it's on, which I got from Cult-to-Mac. I'll put this link in the show notes. I got the heads up from the chained up pen of Cult-to-Mac writers. They had just had their trough filled, so they were very energetic. They had just eaten. Lewis had picked up their droppings, so they were feeling good. And they cranked out this story, and I thought, whoa. Now, $130 is too much for the MagSafe Duo charger, in my humble opinion. Let me see if I can pull this up. But $99,
a whole lot more palatable.
Yeah, it's a whole lot more palatable. And actually, they have some that are open box that you can get for $93. Well, in fact, they have one here that's open box that's $84. So that's much more palatable. And, the convenience factor of this device, if you ever travel with your Apple Watch and your iPhone, the convenience factor of this device is out of control. I mean, don't even get me started. It allows you to travel with just one charger instead of having to bring 13 different things and all the different cables. So it's pretty handy. And for $99, I think it might be a worthy device at that price. I'll let you be the judge of the price. You know your own price limitations, but I purchased one. So thank you, Cult-to-Mac, pen writers. I'm going to tell Lewis to put some extra food in your trough for that tip.
You bought one after seeing that on the store.
I did.
Our site,
Yeah,
huh?
I did.
That's great.
Did. Mm-hmm. I'm guessing it's affiliate, right? So you guys probably earn a slight commission on that.
Yeah, we probably you gave us
50
10 cents there, buddy.
I hope you earned at least $1 on that.
I'd buy at least an extra pellet.
Well, make sure you give
for
it
the
to
trough.
for the Cult-to-Mac writer trough, okay? Don't be stingy and keep it for yourself. All right,
I would never do that.
I know you wouldn't. You're actually too nice to them. I tell you should whip them more often because it makes them more productive. But
so why aren't we going to get this MagSafe power bank?
Oh well, the reason that did I not finish this full story? Let me see if I can pull this back up. Me not finish the story. So it seems like, thank you for bringing that up. Let me just finish the story. According to Gurman from Bloomberg, he says that there's been problems with development. And his sources and Prosser's sources inside Apple say there's a chance that the issues may never be ironed out. And if that ends up being the case, then we'll just not ever see this power bank. But Why is Apple having such a hard time making this? Anke, my favorite non-German brand, which I like to say in a German accent, they already have their power bank out. It just came out like weeks ago, actually. So if Anke can figure it out, why can't Apple get one? It seems like maybe they're over-architecting it, you know?
Like the air power, yeah.
Exactly.
Zen's does an air power, but Apple couldn't.
Mm-hmm. So in an attempt to be innovative, they just maybe worked in so much technology that the technology just couldn't actually be done. And so you end up having to buy Anke. And Anke makes great stuff. So, props to them for getting their power bank out before, I think, literally anyone else. But I am curious to see how well these attach to your phone. Those Apple MagSafe wallets seem like a horrendous disaster waiting to happen to me. Like, you leave all of your money and your credit cards and all your important stuff in your wallet attached to a phone connected loosely by magnets, and you're pushing that thing in and out of your pocket 50 times a day. Seems like a bad idea to me.
Probably not so bad if you just put it in your coat pocket. I still haven't tried one of these things yet, though. This is one of the bad things about this whole lockdown thing. I haven't gone to an Apple store and actually been able to do anything other than activate a phone in quite some time. Have you actually felt any of these things?
Any of which things?
MagSafe accessories.
I have used some of them
wallet
briefly. I haven't seen the wallet, not yet.
Yeah, me neither.
But
Feel
Apple
out of
just
touch.
reopened all their stores, so I would
Yeah,
love to go
I'd
down
have
there
to-
and check it out.
I'd have to go out of my house.
I know. Well, you can always wear a full-on hazmat suit, bring your own oxygen. There's options, Lewis. There's things that you can do. Actually,
I'm thinking about it.
the Apple store near my house, they converted. So there was a parking lot in the middle of this outdoor mall, and they closed the parking lot, built an Apple store right in the middle, a really big, beautiful Apple store. And then outside of the Apple store, they built this beautiful, serene plaza with like stadium seating and all this. It's kind of like a extension of the atrium in Apple Park, I'm guessing. And it's just a serene, relaxing place to hang out. It's actually really cool. They created like an urban park in the middle of this outdoor mall. So even if you don't want to spend anything, you can just go hang out there. Now, if you loiter too long and you don't buy an iPhone, they'll tase you, which I think is overdoing it. But such is the way Apple works. That's a joke, by the way. Don't sue me. Okay. I disavow that comment. Don't sue me,
Lots of
Tim.
disavowals today.
Yeah, well, I don't want to get sued, and I don't want Tim Cook and the Apple corrections squad to show up in my house and tase me, take me off to the Apple dungeon for bad behavior. Okay, let's talk about iMac Pro. iMac Pro, and we'll tie this into a broader topic about iMacs in general, or just Macs in general, and how sad they've been for the last 8 years. Really sad. But there's a bright light. I feel like we are about to enter a new renaissance with Mac, and we could talk about why. But according to the story, and I'm sure many of you probably heard this story, the iMac was quietly discontinued. The iMac Pro, I should say, the iMac Pro, quietly discontinued this week, which if you go to the iMac page on Apple's website, you can buy an iMac Pro, but they say while supplies last, which I thought was really surprising. I thought the iMac Pro was a really incredible machine, and I didn't foresee them doing this. But to me, this kind of communicates one thing. The new iMacs with the next generation, or the iteration of the M1, are going to be so freaking powerful. They're going to be so insane that I think that the iMac Pro probably just doesn't make sense anymore, because the iMac is most likely, well, it's definitely going to be cheaper, but in many ways, I bet you it's going to be even more powerful as well from those benchmarks that we saw online. So if you want to get an iMac Pro, you still can. I wouldn't, but if you want to, they have a. They only have. Yeah, go ahead.
Someone rightly pointed out, even though it's Intel, they're still faster than the current M1s, right? Aren't they more powerful? Or this one configuration that they have on offer?
I think so.
So it still is the most powerful iMac, or Mac.
Yeah, but wait until the next generation iMacs are out. I think at that point, the the value proposition here is not really going to make sense. And I think the value of these machines is going to absolutely tank. That's the main reason I would not buy an Intel Mac at this point. Because when the new M1 variants come out, the resale value of your Intel Mac is going to absolutely tank. It's going to go through the floor. It's going to be like in Aliens, when they shoot one of the aliens and the blood, melts the floor. And it just keeps,
the different levels.
it just keeps going. You're like, when is it going to stop? That's going to be the value of your resale value on your Mac. And if you do want to get a iMac Pro, what I would do is definitely don't buy one from Apple's website. Go to eBay. Dude, people are liquidating these things on eBay. I just did a search this morning just to see what the prices were. So I think the last time you and I talked about iMac Pros, Leander, they were going for like $3,800. Some of the base level iMac Pros were going for $2,000 now on eBay. Now that's a great price. Most of them were a little bit higher, like $2,500, $2,600.
Is that a refurbished or
they were kind of all over the place.
Like
some were used, some were open box. I didn't look at the refurbished ones. I would imagine the refurbished would probably be a little bit higher. But regardless, $2,800 for an iMac Pro. If you don't care about the resale value and you just want like an absolutely editing powerhouse, iMac Pro is a great machine, and you can get one for literally half the price now than you can new, because the machines were, $5,000, are $5,000 new. And now this is the only one that you can buy while supplies last. But this led me to this great story on Cultmac by Luke Dormale about iMac Pro and the era of underwhelming Macs. Good riddance to iMac Pro and the era of underwhelming Macs. And basically what he said was the iMac Pro is a great machine, which I agree. I think it's a fantastic machine. But, man, he really just – let me just read you this. He really nailed the sentiment, at least how I have felt about Macs the last 7 to 8 years. And there's some cutting words here. He says the iMac Pro is seemingly near the end of its natural lifespan, and good riddance to it. No holds barred. In fairness, the iMac Pro was not a bad computer. It was even technically a pretty great one. But it epitomized an era of Mac design that may have been the most uninspired and directionless in Apple's history. The iMac Pro seemed to sum up the uninspired direction of the late 2010s. It arrived in 2017 as a scrap of meat thrown to pro users who had been left to fend for themselves since 2013's Mac Pro trash can started to get a bit long in the tooth. Oh, that's too good. That's a great line. And it's true. It does kind of feel like it was just Apple throwing a scrap of meat to people who needed a pro machine, who were disappointed by the trash can Mac, which sat utterly neglected for way too long. And I see that now. When they first released it, I didn't think that that's what they were trying to do, but it really was just a short-term Mac to give people who wanted something really powerful something that was powerful. And I think that the new era of Macs is going to be much more exciting because the big holdup seemed to be the M1 chips. Now, Leander doesn't feel the same way. Leander, you were kind of excited about or very satisfied with the Macs in their current form, weren't you?
Yeah, well, I mean, the form factor, anyway, I don't think can be beat, really. Actually, there's one thing that really niggles me about it, but, the basic form factor, the big screen, the pedestal, the tilting pedestal, that kind of stuff, the camera up top, it's kind of like, this is what Apple was always great at, wasn't it? Sort of perfecting a product, coming up with a design and over the years perfecting it. And I agree, it's been like 10 or more years now. How long have they had this design? 10, 12, 11, 12 years?
Something like that, yeah.
It's a long, long time, but it's a winning design. I mean, don't mess with success. I think there's something to be said for a company sticking with a good design rather than changing it for change's sake.
I agree, but in the same regard, people want beauty and aesthetic in their computing devices when they buy them from Apple, and to not change the design for that long, I think, was a mistake. Yeah, it's tried and true, but the reason they change the look of cars every year is because people want something fresh, They want something that looks a little bit different than the past model did.
the car's a good analogy, though. You see, 'cause, that is purely an aesthetic change. It's purely aesthetic. There's nothing, like the car platform, even though they do update them, but they tend to be stable for a long time. The underlying platform of the car, but they change the colors, the shape of the headlights, the shape of the body, and that sort of stuff. Purely cosmetic. And I don't know, like do we want our computing devices to go down that route? I'm not so sure.
Well, I think there's a happy middle ground there where they may not be doing it every year. Clearly, I don't think that's necessary, but at least every 3 or 4 years, At least do something every 3 or 4 years. What you can't do, in my opinion, is just say, well, we've reached the perfect form factor. I guess we don't need the design team anymore because it can't get better than this, right? It's like, let's just leave it as is. And it seems yeah, go ahead.
Well, doesn't the form factor sort of tend to follow the technology? Like, the one I've got now, it's like a 2013, 2014. I'm looking right at it. I've had this thing, super reliable computer, really great computer. Love this machine, but it's got a big fat bezel around the screen. And then, as screen technology has gotten better, it could have, they could have gone with a bezel-less design or a much smaller bezel, I think. And there are quibbles about the camera and some of the technology they put in it. They're always like really cheap with the RAM. The one thing that drives me crazy is the placement of the USB ports, like how they're around the back. But of course,
yeah, right.
If they were up front, I think I would probably complain about that too, because then you'd have to look at them, and it doesn't have all the wires everywhere. I mean, it's the one thing that kind of does is a little bit of a quibble. Someone makes a really nice accessory where you can plug it into it's like a little USB mini hub that has like 4 ports, I think, and you plug into one of the ones on the back and you clip it to the front of the machine. It gives you four USB ports on the front, which I think is a great innovation. Love to see that from Apple. But I think the basic design. It came from the Luxo lamp iMac, didn't it? Remember the old G4 with the big bulbous base and then the goofy looking arm with the screen floating on top.
Yeah.
And Johnny Ive or Steve Jobs said, you've got to be true to each element has to be true to itself, right? I think was what they were saying, which is how they came up with that goofy looking, which actually I quite like. It's super distinctive. But now they got this very, very pared back design, and it's kind of hard to imagine. I think like where else are you going to go with a screen based with a computer that's basically a big screen. What other form factor could they adopt? Anyway, I like it. I think it's been a classic and enduring design, and I wouldn't mind if the new M1 or MX iMacs, which I will definitely be getting because I need to upgrade this one. I'll be first in line to get one. I wouldn't mind if they had the same or similar form factor.
Well, we know for sure it's going to look, well, not for sure, but almost 99% that it's going to look like the Pro XDR display, which clearly, I mean, it's just so obvious that's the way to go, right, is to give us all of that great technology packed into that same screen. Hopefully, you mentioned the camera. Hopefully, they give us a decent camera. It needs to have a beautiful 1080p camera with computational HDR. It needs to be an iPhone level camera.
It's a puzzle, isn't it? Why do they put a crap camera in the iMac? I mean, all of the, and even the laptops too, isn't it? I mean, they always put crap cameras in their computers. Why?
Yeah, and they're not even like mediocre. They're truly horrendous. I mean, in the age that we're living in now, where everyone's doing Skype calls, Zoom calls all the time, it really shows how bad they actually are.
Why doesn't it support Face ID? I mean, it's insane. Why doesn't the iMac unlock with your face?
Yeah, why doesn't it unlock with your face? Why don't I mean there's a lot of technologies that were weaved into iPhone that haven't made it to the Mac, and that kind of speaks to the larger argument is why have Macs been so neglected? And are we finally heading out of that era now that Apple is going to be controlling the chips? They won't have to be dependent on Intel for creating the technology that's going to power their machines. They'll be in control of that entire experience. So maybe they'll have some more flexibility and ability to iterate faster. But it was interesting. I was in this as part of this story. I'll just read it. Kind of gives you a glimpse into why iMac and the other Macs have suffered. It says, inside Apple, a report suggested that the iMac team or the Mac team was largely left to its own devices during this period, not in the same way that the 1984 Mac team was left alone as a sort of skunkworks project. This is more left alone in the sense that it was clear that the Mac was a low priority. This is according to a Bloomberg report. Quote, once a week, Johnny Ive's team used to meet with Mac engineers to discuss ongoing projects. Mac engineers brought prototypes to Ive Studio for review, while his lieutenants would visit the Mac labs to look at early prototypes. those visits have become less frequent since the company began focusing more on more valuable products like the iPhone and the iPad. So iPhone making all the money, the Macs getting neglected because their priorities are clearly the iPhone and the iPad. But I kind of wonder if that's going to be changing with all the stuff happening with the iMacs, with the M1 variant chip, with the MagSafe coming back to the Mac. They said they're going to be adding the SD card slot back to the Mac. It seems like maybe, just maybe, they are focusing a little bit more on practicality, and they might be able to iterate faster and give us Macs more often, which I think would be a really great thing. Because unlike Leander, I'm just sick of feeling like a second-class citizen in the world of Mac. I mean, there's stuff that they're adding to the PC world all the time that they could integrate into an iMac or into a MacBook Pro or something, and there are technologies that needed to be removed, like the touch bar, and we've heard that they're going to be removing the touch bar from the MacBook Pro. It was a good idea, but in practice, it just didn't really do anything helpful. And I would love to see them introduce some more practicality into the Mac. I know we want things that are thin and light. I know we want things that are beautiful, but the iMac for me, it needs to be a Swiss Army knife. It needs to have multiple tools in it. And the more practicality they build in, the better, because I'm using this as a production machine, right? I need to have that practicality built in. That's all I have to say about that.
Does anyone have
That's all I gotta say.
There's something that's, excuse me. I had to plug it in, I was in Arizona last week helping my mother-in-law move to a new place, and I had to set up her old PC. And, it was, I'd forgotten what an horrible nightmare experience that was. You got the box, you got the monitor, the keyboard, the mouse, and everything has to, like, all the wires that go everywhere. And, it just seems, it looked so primitive. It was like, I cannot believe that people would go out and buy this massive of products. When you got something like an iMac where they bundle it all together, I mean, it makes so much more sense. It's so more obvious. And I was thinking, oh my God, it would be so much easier if, my wife's mother had an iMac, to go with. How much easier it would be. How much it would be easier it would be for her.
And for you.
And for me. Yeah. I mean, I love the old all-in-one machine. I mean, it's a great it goes, Apple, it goes back to the original Mac, doesn't it? In 84. It's, I mean, it's how long ago is that? 84 to now?
26. You said 84? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, 27 years. So
yeah. Oh my gosh.
27 years. It's kind of frightening.
I think you're gotta check your math there.
Yeah, I think it's more than that. 86.
37.
Yeah. I think that's right.
Oh, 37.
This is why I avoid mathing on the fly at all costs here on this show. Because anytime we're live, I'm just like, I can't do this. I can't do this live, Lewis.
I just had to redo it really slowly.
Lewis, I see.
But is anyone doing interesting flat panel, all-in-one PCs?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Like you just kind of dangled that out, like all these great things going on PC land, and like what? I mean, I got to say, I'm kind of blissfully ignorant of it. I mean, I've just been using Macs for years now, and I don't. The idea of switching doesn't even come
Enter
up,
your
right?
mind,
So
yeah, same here. They definitely have companies that are doing all-in-ones. Now, you said interesting. I would hesitate to use that word. But here's a model for you. The HP 24-DP0158QE space AIO PC.
I can't wait to get one, man. What?
I poop you not. That is the name of that computer. It's
a brilliant name.
And they're like, what can we do to distinguish this computer from the others? And one of the engineers was like, let's just use the serial number as part of the name, and then we'll know which model is. Brilliant. Let's ship it. And so I feel like these are all-in-ones that do a really good job at trying to mimic the from the iMac from a marketing perspective, right? But once you sit down to use it, it's like, oh, not really anywhere close to it. Because you don't have the tight software hardware integration. Anyway, I'm saying things that you guys all know. There are a bunch of all-in-ones on the market today, but yeah, none like the iMac. And I think the iMac's going to be my next machine. From the benchmarks that I've seen
what if they made a giant 27-inch iPad that you could dock, like onto a stand? That would be great, wouldn't it?
That would be interesting, actually. And that that is similar to one of my favorite pieces of technology now, which is the Nintendo Switch, which has a brilliant design that I can't believe no one thought of. And it is a computer, right? A game console that you can play with a screen and the controllers are all attached. And then when you dock it, because it's no longer in battery-powered mode, it sucks up way more power, and the power of the console is increased drastically. So if you did something like that, that would be kind of an interesting design, I think. I would be interested in at least seeing what it can do. Someone's saying Level Remix is saying Surface Studio. Yeah, there's also that, which looks like a really premium all-in-one computer. And I've heard good things about it. But then again, you have like the hardware integration problem. I mean, only Apple is able to create that buttery soft, software, hardware integration. So they're controlling all aspects of it. I think the iMac's going to be a killer machine, man. I mean, part of me wants to sell my MacBook Pro and do iMac and then a MacBook Air for like in the house if I need to have some portability. I mean, the new MacBook Pro or the new MacBook Air can edit 4K video in Final Cut Pro. How crazy is that on a MacBook Air? That's a huge leap forward in performance. Anyway, guys, I'm turning up my slider here on the Cult of Mac music sign-off because I think that's all the CultCast we have for you guys this week. We've been going for like 2.5 hours. Later, didn't you say you had peace out at 1 p.m.?
My daughter didn't show up. She didn't show up at 1. I don't know where she is.
Use Find My.
There you go.
Yeah,
We should sign off, and then you can use Find Mine and Hunter down. Anyway, guys, that's all the CultCast we have for you guys this week. If you want to come tell us your all-in-one opinions, that's terrible. We're all on Twitter. I'm at AirFon, ERFON, Leonard's at LKD, Lewis at Lewis Wallace. This is the CultCast, the best 30-plus minute alpha conversation you're going to hear all week long. New episodes of the CultCast come out every Thursday night. I want to thank everyone for listening. Thank everyone for watching. We got all sorts of people here in the chat. Love reading your guys' chat. And we'll see you guys. I'm doing the finger shake. Here it comes. It's coming for you. Next time.
Should put little finger maracas on so people can hear the finger shake.
Is that a thing? Finger maracas?
We can invent them.
We can make millions. What are we doing here on this podcast? Finger maracas is where it's at. We could put them on my Amazon store. the garbage hawk for the common man company. They're going to sell so many copies. Oh, I'm stretching. It feels so good. It's the sound of satisfaction. All right, music's about to stop, so let me get ready to stop the stream here. Oh wait, no, it's not done yet. That's awkward.
Awkward.
I'm just gonna stop it before this gets any weirder.
The Surface Studio is pretty